The New York Yankees have had a very good month of June so far. 19-5 in the month of June. Aaron Judge is continuing to put up MVP level numbers. And the Yankees bullpen and pitching as a whole has still been very good, especially the bullpen. It's been a very good month for them. Unfortunately, for Red Sox fans like myself, it sucks. But for John and Barnes, as Yankees fans, they're loving it. They're loving the first place feeling. It's been good for them. But this is the Yankees June recap. My name is Derek. I'm here with Barnes and John. And let's get straight into it. So first of all, obviously you two are the Yankees fans. So I'm going to throw it to you guys first. Big topic for the month. That's big reason for the Yankees' success this month. I'll throw it to John first. Thoughts?
I mean, it's got to keep being Aaron Judge. He's just on a tear every single day. He's just adding more zeros to that paycheck that he's going to be getting at the end of the season. And he's just like, Dusty Baker, which kind of made me mad in one sense when he said, we got beat. We won 2 games and Aaron Judge won the other 2 games. You can make that argument that he's won every game for the Yankees, but at the same time, hey, Dusty Baker, Aaron Hicks hit that 3-run home run to tie the game in the first place. So, credit where credit is due. But that all being said, I had to take my shot at the Astros. But yeah, it's Aaron Judge. I mean, he's just carrying us and just crushing baseballs along the way.
Yeah, he's been stellar again this month. I think all the Yankees have been good this month, but yeah, Judge is just continuing to be ridiculous. He's got 10 homers in the month of June, a 163 weighted runs created plus. He's been ridiculous. A 602 slugging. And what's ridiculous is this might be his worst month of the season, which is crazy to say that because it's still been an amazing month for him. Steve, whatever you want to be called by. What are your thoughts on this? On Aaron Judge having this ridiculous monumental year heading into free agency, obviously.
It's a huge thing. John said it just seems like Aaron Judge is crushing the ball. It looks like everything that pitchers are throwing at him just looks like a giant meatball, and he's got a tennis racket, just boom, just hitting him. You touched on, he's got 10 home runs. The one thing I really look at, especially for a guy like Aaron Judge, who's hitting, in the 2 spot, normally for us, is he's got 14 walks. You kind of touched on it earlier. The Yankees are kind of hitting the home runs as a whole. He's got to get on base. He's getting on base. Guys like Rizzo and Stanton are behind him, who also have that home run power. So I look at Judge getting on base, and he can also just generate those runs. He's got a couple stolen bases this year. He's got a great glove. He's just getting it done all over the place. What more can you ask from the man?
Yeah, 12% walk rate in the month of June. Strikeout rate was down to 22% in the month of June. It's been 25% the whole entire season. So the strikeout rate dropping, walk rate jumping up that tiny little bit. That does help as well. But I think the big surprise for the Yankees team this year, and this guy's continued his dominance into June, has been the emergence of Clay Holmes, especially as a closer, considering Chapman as – don't want to say he's done nothing, but he hasn't been what the Yankees have expected him to be as and being that closer for the Yankees.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it here first, if you don't mind, John.
Go for it.
Month of June for Clay Holmes, I just took a quick peek just to make sure I got the numbers right. 10 innings throughout the month. That's 10 games. He's allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, and he's got 10 strikeouts. More importantly, he's only allowed 3 walks. You're looking at the numbers. Numbers look solid. Everyone gets excited when a closer comes in and strikes out the side. Clay Holmes doesn't necessarily do that. If you just run the numbers, it's 1 strikeout per appearance that he's showing up for. It just seems like he gets these outs. He's like the lucky pair of boxers for the New York Yankees. You go out there, boom, you throw in those boxers, you're getting a win. He's not going to – I can literally kick my feet up like I'm doing right now and enjoy the Yankee game. I go, all right, we're going to close this out. It's the safest I've felt since Mariano is retired, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's been ridiculous this year. Just 9 strikeouts per 9 innings for him. But the big thing, 83% ground ball rate. Like, that's ridiculous. And he's left 93% of the runners on base. So he's just been elite. John, continue talking about Clay Holmes, obviously. I love Clay Holmes as a baseball fan, hate him as a Red Sox fan. Your thoughts on Clay Holmes?
Oh, hey, I love our lucky pair of boxers too. I mean, this guy is fantastic. It's fun watching him pitch. Like, I really do enjoy like watching a pitcher just on, seeing the movement on a sinker where he's throwing at 97 miles per hour, 98 miles per hour, and then the drop on it. And hitters, you said it, 83% ground ball ratio. It's like, that's all hitters can do. Like, they're going to make contact on it, but they're just going to drive it right into the ground. The guy is just fun to watch. Like, I love watching the ninth inning. And like Barnes said, like, this is like the best we've had since Mariano Rivera. Like, yeah, it was great watching Chapman throw 100 miles per hour. Like, that's fun to watch, but he's also walking batters and imploding every now and then. Whereas Holmes, you go out and you just get this like artistic performance where he just looks so good, fun to watch, great movement on the ball, and like the game's over.
Yeah, he's been great. 98th percentile in chase rate, 88th percentile whiff rate, 99th percentile in barrel rate. What does that mean? Guys aren't hitting the ball hard off of him. They're swinging and missing a lot, and they're swinging on pitches that aren't in the strike zone a lot. Those 3 keys to success for any pitcher, regardless of what your pitch mix, how hard or slow you throw. Doesn't matter. Those are 3 keys to success, and he's been amazing at all of them. But next up for the Yankees, obviously, those 2 guys have been the 2 kind of stars of the Yankees so far this year, obviously. The big, Judge is the big name. Holmes is the guy who's burst onto the scene and kind of turned himself into a star in this ridiculous year the Yankees are having. But let's talk about the Yankees offense as a whole now. The Yankees in the month of June have been good. They are 3rd in the MLB in the month of June with a 133 weighted runs created plus, 54 home runs in the month of June. That's 147 runs in the month of June. 56% of those runs on the home run ball. They're very reliant on the home run ball, but it seems to be working for them so far this year. I'll go to John first. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, in past years, they've lived and died by the home run ball. And whereas they are scoring a lot of runs off the home run ball this year, I think the difference that we're seeing is that they're runners on base when this happens. It's not just like 2 solo home runs a game and then you score 2 runs. They're putting guys on base. They're not hitting as much, I think, like base hitting, situational contact hitting as fans want to see. But the fact it's working, they're getting that 1 or 2, they're getting a guy on base, maybe 2 guys on base, and then the home run comes. And it's winning baseball. So I can't knock it right now. I mean, there's a little hesitation because it's burned us in the past. But the way they're playing this year, the way it's falling, the way it's playing out, I'm confident that this might actually be a winning formula.
Yeah, it's been great. And the thing too, this Yankees team is drawing their fair share of walks as well, 12% walk rate in the month of June as a team, which the next closest is 10%. So they're walking more than anyone else. Obviously, they are striking out a lot, but it's not like they're leading the league in strikeouts either. They've actually been around middle of the pack in strikeouts, actually a little bit towards the better side of that. So they're not falling into that big strikeouts, a lot of home runs. They're striking out not a ridiculous amount. They're still hitting a lot of home runs, but they're also walking a lot, which is good for the Yankees. Barnes, it's your team, not mine. How do you feel about that?
So yeah, the home run ball for the Yankees, it just reminds me of that SpongeBob meme where he's all like, if you look at the home run ball, then you can see what they're doing. Listen, as of this recording, Aaron Judge has 28 home runs, Rizzo has 20, and Giancarlo Stanton has 18. I think what you really got to look at is these other guys. You got LeMahieu's got 7, Carpenter's got 6, Donaldson's got 6. It just seems like these other guys are scrapping up these home runs too. The beautiful thing about baseball is that all the parks are different. There was 3 places we played wiffle ball as a kid: Nick's backyard, the park, and the cul-de-sac. And a home run was a little bit different on different areas, just like baseball. That's the beautiful thing. We're getting these home runs on the short porch, which don't count. I don't want to hear it. All the runs count the same. I don't care if they're on that 314-foot wall or if they're at a 406. It doesn't matter. It still counts. That's the way the game rolls.
Only would have said don't count in a Boston accent would have been a little bit more realistic there.
Sorry, I can't do it. I'm not a native.
I'm not afraid to make fun of my own team. You got to laugh at yourself sometimes. But yeah, it's the Yankees have been very, very good this year. I don't think that needs to be said a million times, but it's also worth being said a million times as to how ridiculous they have been this year. And yeah, they have a bunch of guys hitting homers that have a lot of homers, but they also have some other guys that are doing well, and that you'd say, like for example, Jose Trevino, like the Yankees traded for him. Everyone was just like, is he going to be the starting catcher? Is he going to be the backup? We don't know. And he's in an all-star conversation now. It's probably not going to start because of Alejandro Kirk, but he's still in that all-star conversation, which is ridiculous to think of. And they still have a bunch of other guys who are doing better than expectations as well. So that's huge for them. I think that's huge. Next up, though, is the Yankees bullpen. We're going to focus just specifically on the bullpen before we get to the starting pitching. In the month of June, the Yankees bullpen has a 2.22 ERA. That's tops in the MLB. The FIP and expected FIP don't like them as much. 3.52 FIP, 4.3 expected FIP. But at the end of the day, if you're not allowing the runs to score, even if the FIP and expected FIP doesn't like you, you're still not allowing the runs to score, regardless of what the other stats say. So you can take that positive away from it. John, the Yankees bullpen has been amazing this year as a whole, but also in the month of June. What's it like having a stable bullpen at the back of your in your team, unlike the Red Sox so far this year?
Oh, it makes it a lot less stressful watching these games. I'll tell you that. And the beauty of the Yankees bullpen, not only be having the fact that they pitched so well, Britton's on his way back. Loizaga is on his way back. I mean, Chapman, we'll see what's there. I mean, he's on his way back. I don't really know how that's going to play out yet, but he's potentially on his way back. So they got some more arms coming back into this bullpen, which is only going to make them stronger, which is scary. Scary for probably everybody else. It's great for me to think about, though.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. Red Sox fan. But also, too, here's the thing. I always say you can never have enough pitching. So what happens? The Yankees go and trade for a reliever as well, and they just add to that. Or that's so ridiculous. And we see it with the Rays in the sense of you can never have enough pitching, because it seems like every year they have 20 pitchers on the injured list, but they have another 20 that are healthy, that are the most ridiculous guys you've ever seen come out of the bullpen. It's like you can never truly have enough pitching, and the Yankees are really doing that, where they have a bunch of pitching, and these guys are pitching well, but they also have pitching that's injured that's going to come back healthy and can give a more significant boost to that bullpen. Barnes, thoughts on the bullpen? Obviously, we've already talked about Clay Holmes, but the rest of the bullpen.
The rest of the bullpen, that's literally what I say every other time I'm watching a Yankee game. I'm like, oh, man, Holmes just pitched yesterday. King just pitched yesterday. Are we going to go back-to-back days on these guys? And continuously, I'm impressed with the performance of Wandy Peralta, Lutke, Castro, that young kid, Marinaccio, Fibonacci. Yes. What is his name?
Marinaccio. That's right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's crushing it. Abreu, we just brought him back. Like, it just seems like we're always getting these arms, and I look at the name, I go, ugh. Then I watch the performance, I go, that looks pretty good. Good find there. John touched on a little bit. I'm excited for Britton to come back. Obviously, with Chapman, he's going to probably have to go back to that closer role, that ninth inning role. But who cares? We got the bullets. Let's use them. Hey, if we can get through that eighth inning where maybe a 1, 2, and 3 batters come up, throw Clay Holmes in the eighth inning. I don't care. He's our most trusted guy right now, at least. Let Chapman get into the ninth. Boom, work that 4, 5, 6 hitter. It just seems like we have a ton of arms, and they're coming back at the right time, right in the middle of this season.
Yeah, the Yankees bullpen's in really good in June. I'm just going to run through the names here. Marinaccio, 9 2/3 innings pitched, 0 ERA. Albert Abreu, it's only 3 innings, but still no runs given up. You can't complain about that. Michael King, 11 innings, 0.79 ERA. Clay Holmes, 10 innings, 0.9 ERA. Lutke, 9 2/3 innings, 0.93 ERA. Benuelos, 8 innings, 2.16 ERA. Wandy Peralta, 12 innings, 2.25 ERA. Ryan Weber, 3 2/3 innings. Red Sox fans, I pray, Lord, the Yankee gets destroyed with the Yankees like he did with the Red Sox. A 2.25 ERA. Miguel Castro and Clark Schmidt haven't had the greatest Junes, but like this is Rays-esque of the name on the back of the jersey doesn't matter, but they're gonna come in and pitch amazing. This is Rays-esque what the Yankees are doing with their bullpen. Who cares about the name?
One thing to mention on that, I don't know if you saw it, Benuelos just got DFA'd like right before we came on for this recording. So
Yeah,
he's
but that's ridiculous because he's been great.
He
You
has
know?
been exactly the
Yeah.
point. Yeah, and Weber is already back in the minors. He just pitched that one game and he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point. Is that their bullpen has been so good, and they have so many guys that the pitchers who like Benuelos, eight innings, 2.16 ERA. Oh, see ya, you're gone because you're still not good enough. Like that's ridiculous. Like that's it's honestly ridiculous when you think about that. It's like the Mets when they have a ridiculous amount of position players, and it's like, how the heck are you going to fit like 12 guys in the lineup at once? But the
they
Yankees
all play the same position. Freaking
yeah. Yeah, but it's like the Yankees. It's with the relief pitchers, and we've seen it with the Rays before. It's you never have enough guys, and what's wrong with having so many guys that are good that maybe you have to get rid of a couple guys who are good, but they're not as good as the rest, which just proves how good the other guys have been. And I think that's big for the Yankees to have.
Yeah, it's just to close it out. It just seems like you said, it's Rays-esque. It's one of those things. Hey, Nestor Cortez gets blown up in the second inning. Severino gets blown up in the first, whatever. Hey, let's finish out the rest of this game, and we still got a shot, even if we get blown up early. Hey, we gave up 4 runs in the first inning. It was just ugly. Severino was off. Let's get a bunch of other guys out there to eat some innings. And it still feels like we can win those games. You can't have enough relievers. Love it.
You guys like interesting stats. I heard a stat today on ESPN New York Radio. The Yankees are 23-20 in games where they trail. Like that's like, so in games at some point where they're losing,
they're winning.
Like they have their 20 losses in 23 of those games, they came back and won. Like they're the only team. Them and the Dodgers are the only teams in baseball to have a winning record during games where they've trailed.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
How good they've been. No, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I do want to mention that their starting pitching has slowed down a little bit in June. It hasn't been the elite what it was. It's not the elite it was the first couple months of the season, but it's still been solid, 9th best ERA at 3.59. Which you'll take that any day of the week from a rotation. That's that's your bad month. You can't complain. But before we wrap this up, I want to ask both of you guys one trade target for the Yankees, and not a specific player. I want either a position or a player type. I'll start with John first. What would you want to upgrade if you want to upgrade anything at all?
It's tough because I feel like to complain right now, like it's just that's feeding into that spoiled Yankees fan narrative. However, I am a spoiled Yankees fan, so I will complain. I'd like to see Donaldson gone. If you go to our website, bleacherbrawls.com, I've been writing about this for a while since the moment the Yankees got him. I've never liked Donaldson. I'd never liked his stick. I'd love to see him gone. He's come through at times, but he hasn't really added that much to the team. The only problem there is I don't know how you get rid of him with the money remaining on his contract, and the fact that nobody likes him.
Yeah, that's fair. But wasn't kind of Falefa in that deal, so I think that's why they pulled the trigger on that deal.
And they got rid of Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, that too. So I think it was a less daunting. However, the Yankees, maybe they could make an upgrade there. Upgrade positions are very limited. Barnes, you have anything you want to upgrade on?
The thing I want to upgrade as a spoiled brat Yankees fan, man, what a luxury. No, I want a guy who can get hits, get walks, get a base hit. I want that stereotypical leadoff hitter who's just, boom, I'm going to get you a single. I'm going to work you a walk. I'm going to work a high pitch count. First thing in the game, right? That way Aaron Judge can go up there, really get the most out of Aaron Judge. I think we just don't have a lot of that. We got a lot of guys who got a lot of pop in the bat. I don't think we have anyone who can, if we could just add another piece who can just get on base continuously, break up a pitcher's momentum. I think it's really going to help us get through the tough times.
Yeah, and like we saw, they had 16 innings straight where they didn't get a hit, and then what do they do to break it up? Homer. That just shows it. I think I saw a stat a couple days ago where like Stan was hitting like 0.98 in the last like however many games. but all 4 of his hits were homers. And I think I said the Yankees need to upgrade one thing. They need a contact guy. Maybe he doesn't end up hitting leadoff. Maybe he's lower in the order, but to that guy who, like you said, can just get a base hit or just at the very least put the ball in play. Those guys are invaluable in the postseason. And if they use the dead balls in the postseason, relying on the home run ball isn't necessarily the greatest strategy if the balls are going to be dead. If the MLB does that, that's a whole nother topic for conversation, though. Any final thoughts to wrap up this Yankees June recap?
I still don't like Joey Gallo.
The gal out. Get him out.
He'll be gone after this year, so you don't have that much longer with him.
Derrik, you might know the stat on this. Gallo's over his last 196. Is that right?
Oh, Lord, you sure? I think he's 0 for the last every at bat for the Yankees.
It's before the dinosaurs were walking. My final thought is really, and I want to just bring this to a huge point, is that the Yankees were 9-4 in the Yankees are going to get exposed. Okay. So I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay. We split a series with the Astros in New York. You know, you take 5 out of 6 from the Rays. And what we 2-1 against the Blue Jays, John?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just like, hey, we're the real deal. Until if someone says, oh, you guys weren't playing real competition. No, we did it right there, and we did it all in a row. 9-4 in that 13-game stretch. I don't want to hear it. We're the real deal. Yeah,
I think Derrik Roberts, who's obviously known for being a Red Sox fan, he said today on DraftKings that the Yankees are going to break the record for the most wins in season. And for a Red Sox fan to say that is ridiculous. But the Yankees now that doesn't mean World Series. And at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, who cares about a regular season win record if you don't win a World Series? Because you saw how that happened to the Mariners when they broke it. But at the end of the day, the Yankees are one of the World Series favorites, if not the favorite at this point in the season. And they can still add, as the trade deadline is still just over a month away. But that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for checking out Bleacher Brawls. Obviously, make sure to check out all the links in the description. The website, Instagram, podcast, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters are down there. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment while you're down there. Make sure to check out all our previous videos. We're posting Monday through Friday every single day at 1 p.m. And we'll occasionally even have a double upload day for you. So make sure to keep an eye out for all our posts. And also, we do a podcast, Red Sox podcast, Yankees podcast, and a Brawl podcast. So stay tuned for those. That's going to wrap it up. For John and Barnes, I'm Derrik. Thanks for tuning into this Yankees June recap on Bleacher Brawls, and we'll see you next time.